Yung martial law, may tatapusin lang ako para sa lahat.
Friends and fellow citizens, magandang araw, good day. This is Attorney Sonny Matula, a constitutional law lecturer at the University of Perpetual in Las Pinas and University of Manila in Manila. Also, I am teaching labor law at the Manuel L. Quezon University School of Law in Diliman, Quezon City. Join me in a few minutes in a discussion on martial law and our rights as citizens of the Philippines.
On the part of the Senate, the rules to govern this joint session of Congress of the Republic of the Philippines and the call of the President to further extend the proclamation of martial law and the suspension of the privilege and writ of the habeas corpus in the whole of Mindanao is hereby adopted.
Martial law is already a given in Mindanao. Whether we like it or not, on December 12, 2018, in a joint session, Congress had approved the initiative or request of President Rodrigo Duterte to extend martial law for another year or until the last day of December 2019. In a joint session, the Senate and the House of Representatives, with a vote of 235 in favor, 28 against, and 1 abstention, also extended the suspension of the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus in the whole island until the end of 2019. This might be still, or there might be still some questions to be resolved as there are petitions pending before the Supreme Court, but we cannot escape the fact that martial law extension is now being implemented in the whole of Mindanao. In the earlier decisions and resolutions of the highest court in 2017 and 2018, martial law was not only considered as an operative fact in the whole of Mindanao, but the Supreme Court also had found sufficient factual basis for the issuance of Proclamation 216, dated May 23, 2017. The Supreme Court declared it constitutional. There was factual basis. According to the Supreme Court, there was actual rebellion of the Mauti group, Abu Sayyaf group, and other terrorist groups in Malawi and in other parts of Mindanao. Knowing the powers of the President and their limitations will make us understand more of our rights and effectively protect and defend our life and our liberty. The declaration of martial law or the suspension of the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus does not suspend our constitutional rights under Paragraph 4, Section 18, Article 7 of the 1987 Constitution. Unless you are committing a crime, you cannot be arrested, neither your home be searched without judicial warrant. Your fundamental right to life under the Bill of Rights cannot be taken away from you. Now, my friends, let us proceed with the first question, understanding the power of the President, particularly his being the Commander-in-Chief, including his control over the military and the calling out powers. 1. What are the powers of the President under the 1987 Constitution? The President has vast powers to enforce and administer the laws vested in him as head of the executive department under the fundamental law. One is found in the first paragraph of Article 7, Section 18 of the Constitution. First, it speaks about the President being the Commander-in-Chief. Included in said tremendous military authority, as head of the Armed Forces of the Philippines are 1. The power of control over the military. and the calling out power over said armed forces. This provision of being Commander-in-Chief shall be read in the light of the Declaration of Principles and State Policies that civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military in Article 2, Section 3 of the Fundamental Law. The civilian president holds supreme military authority over the armed forces. The president, as the overall head of the military forces, he has ceremonial, legal, and administrative control and supervision over all branches and units of the military, including its officers. Included in being the Commander-in-Chief is the President's power to conduct peace negotiations, according to the case of the Province of North Cotabato versus the Republic of the Philippines Peace Panel on October 14, 2008. Negotiations with the NDF, the CPP-NPA, the MILF, and other rebel groups are implicitly included in this presidential power as Commander-in-Chief. Number one, the control over the military is the power of holding the sword. As head, the President has the power over the Philippine Army, the Philippine Navy, and the Philippine Air Force, and the units and elements under these three major military branches. His power over control also extends to the citizen soldiers of the reserve force of the EFP once they are called to active duty. Though not necessarily an expert in military, the President may direct military operations and determine military strategy. Having the control over the military, the Supreme Court, in the case of Rodriguez versus Arroyo, decided on November 15, 2011, declared that the President may be held responsible or accountable of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances in the context of the writ of amparo proceedings. But we cannot discuss that now, probably in another topic. With respect to the control over the military, this is the power of holding the sword. As head of all the armed forces of the Philippines, he has the command over the Philippine Army, the Philippine Navy, and the Air Force, and the units and elements under these three major military services. His power of control also extends to the civilian soldiers or reserve forces of the armed forces of the Philippines once they are called to active duty. Though not necessarily an expert in military, the President may direct military operations and determine military strategy. Mga kaibigan, at this moment, let us end the discussion of the President being the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. At this point, we will discuss martial law and suspension of the privilege of in particular, in part 2 of our topic next week. Friends, mga kaibigan, I hope that our discussion give us good understanding of the system of governance and the powers of the President in relation to our constitutionally guaranteed rights. To paraphrase famous Mindanao radio commentator and lawyer, I heard him when I was a young boy in my elementary year in a remote place in Agusan del Sur, which I quote, "The citizens who are aware of their rights will most probably contribute to the strengthening of our democracy, while our citizens who are ignorant of their rights will most likely weaken our liberty." Abangan ang sunod na kabanata. Maraming salamat po. Good day.